We see you singing at the football game once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while, but yeah.
Every year or two, you sing the national anthem.
So,
We're up there waiting.
So we ran.
so Mohammed, can you tell a little bit about the award, or?
So actually, I'm gonna just welcome Jim, and congratulations, and we are proud to work with you. Welcome, and I'll let you tell us about the award. It's a sort of wonderful award given to you. So if you can tell us a little bit about it, because there aren't that many people around with this honor here.
Well, thank you. Each year the Academy gets nominations for something to be called a Master of Dermatology. And you get a little plaque, which I have in Bleach. They used to actually then have a picture painted for you. Now they just take a photograph. And they put it in Philadelphia, at the medical school or someplace. Where they have history thing. They put you up there and they put your name on the list. So it's very nice. I was very honored.
Well, Jim, when we think about you and all the fun memories we have of you, we have equally as many fond memories of this dear, dear, sweet wife of yours. How long have you guys been married?
We were married 48 years in September.
Is that so? Wow.
48 years, yeah.
And what was he like when you first met him? Was he a romantic sort of guy, or?
We had a long conversation. It took a lot of talking first.
Oh, kind of romantic.
We started dating, then we'd break up.
But
How
actually,
many times we do
met
that?
at a nice place, we met at my friend's house, and then we went to Minnehaha Falls, and there were about 8 or 10 of us hiking the falls, and the park was beautiful, and you just got talking and talking and talking. And you're talking about 4 or 5 girls, it wasn't just, Anyway, it didn't change, is what I'm trying to say. It started back then to talking, not the lecture.
He's never had a problem with being able to carry on a conversation. That's never been an issue. Well, that makes me want to listen to some music. Do you have any romantic music we can put on?
I think it's right there in that boombox there. Yes. So if you.
Let's see. Let me see what this is. This might just be.
Yeah, romantic music.
Oh, well, sit over here with him.
You can see how romantic we are because she sprained her ankle as I was chasing her.
This might just be instrumental, Alex. So do you sing along with it?
I'll sing anytime.
Please don't let this feeling end. It's everything I am, everything I want to be. I can see what's mine now, finding out what's true. Since I found you, looking through the eyes of love.
Those were the dating years, and then you were married. How long was it before you had kids?
9 months and 1 day.
Oh, my goodness.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Right.
We were married in September and Chris was born in July, so maybe.
27. She was born this summer.
So
Chris is the oldest.
she had 1 menstrual cycle after we were married.
I'm glad we're videotaping this.
I don't need that part of it.
It was called status gravidera.
And then
We had 3 of them,
Oh, my God. And then grandkids, too, right?
Yeah, we
Well,
have
no,
grandkids.
yeah.
Well, of course you didn't have them.
We waited till ours got a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris was married, was born in Minneapolis, and when I went to Duke, and Michael was born in August, and Margie was born the following June.
So we
Wow.
had to do it in one internship year, and then we were from.
You guys had a very busy year.
Eugene
Wow.
Stitt called me in and wanted to know if I was
Wow.
wasting my time, and I wasn't working hard enough. Jeez.
Well, let's see if we have any music about kids. You never know, we might. Maybe we could get Allie to sing one more song. Let's see.
He says, what are you doing tonight? She said, oh, okay. You know, is he gonna invite us to dinner? And she said, yeah. I said, well, we're busy. You fool us.
What a great looking family. I gotta get a picture here.
You work hard on Monday's school.
Look, I'm like, gee, I know, Alex.
Over here. Just so everybody get you.
Oh, Sarah.
Okay, everybody.
One time.
Everybody smile. Got it, okay.
Alright.
All right, bye.
Remember when we used to have our parties at your house?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember our kids came later because I used to always envy that picture you had. You had a big picture on the wall with, you know, the faculty and all. Remember all those kids all at the same time?
Cultural, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I was one of your kids actually when I came in. I don't remember. You know, that's your residents.
Older, yeah.
Well, you said these kids. You also had residents.
Kids on there.
Debbie had Chris on there, and Zelda had somebody.
You remember that picture? It was like a big colored sofa. It was always hanging for big.
It was John's quilt that we had.
It was-
All the kids on. John had made that for Debbie.
That's right, that he made that for me when we were going together. There's our oldest resident
Yeah.
picture. It's like, you know, it's like all throughout where we were at Group Health at CC, it's always been like family, you know, and having residents has been sort of raising kids too.
Well, and we always kind of felt that's what it should be. That way everybody works together
Yeah.
and knows everybody. And so of course you're new to all this.
Yeah. It's like the residents. We're your kids.
Which reminds me of a song. Just not the song came into my head. I was gonna sing again. These are your residents who love you.
Thank you.
The resident, not the wife. I mean, it's
Congratulations on now
my family here.
When I'm racing for destiny, then in that one moment of time, I will be eternity.
Hey, Jim, what was the name, I was thinking, you know, we had the residents, and there were also all the other people there. What was the name of that, the person that you hired for electrolysis way back at the State Department for a long time?
But she's still,
What is her name? Karen, right, Karen. Yeah, because she told me when I was very first faculty and said, you know, I'm looking for electrolysis position, and I told you, and she's still there.
she's still there.
Yeah. She's still there.
I didn't know that. Karen?
Karen is still there.
Maybe here.
She asked me why I'm such a hairy guy. Just listen. I'm hairy tonight. Hair that's upright. I'm hairy high and low.
Karen?
Don't ask me why. Don't know.
Karen, Karen.
It's not black, like
so
They,
lucky.
Mary
And so-
Rocker.
And so were you, because of it.
Yeah, how long was Mary with you? How long was Mary with you? The whole time you were there, yeah. I mean, talk about love. Talk about love.
Right.
Yeah.
And her husband and everything. Because Mary's never home.
Yeah, she was that, that's for sure.
And Bobby and Joe. Bobby and Boston.
I'm back. Well, I'm bad in a stone to the kitchen for myself. I've been fishing, yarn and thread and try to come alive. Jump in the shower, the blood starts pumping out on the street. The trap starts jumping for both sides.
Hey, Jared.
That's just a regular camera.
Jim,
I'm not used to seeing
I
those
always
with
look
normal
at, our field, dermatology, and I was fortunate to have been given a book about dermatology in the 40s and 50s from a friend of mine passed. But I still have that book, and looking at how dermatology was back then and how we are now, and all the research that has gone on throughout the years to get us to where we are, and look like that. I may get my hair back someday. So it's wonderful.
You
It's
guys are
wonderful.
pretty loyal researchers, didn't you?
What we did, we got, great salt up Ray.
I drove down Avenue. You know that the deep between both have to. You gotta ride down a 31st time. Now that bottle
Where are the chitties?
How are you?
She just graduated from college.
I tell you how long.
Do you remember when Irene and Chris were in the same group together at Christmas at our house? We were like, not even, when Chris were in the same group together. And Chris and we were in the same group together. We were at their house.
Yes.
Actually, we have to go back and figure out who those 9 babies were. I know you named them.
I can tell. Two boy goes.
Yeah. Two boys. Somebody had twins. Oh, maybe that, maybe.
She has a first.
Maybe she had twins later. Yeah. We will do that. We will start that first. We'll see if it'll be our challenge.
Well, it's great to see you. Great to see you. I'll tell you, I remember the days we used to have the whole international. You remember the Sunday Lord would have like this. I still remember. Actually,
How are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on board with our endeavor.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
We have more news for you.
They're,
You know, Jim, I was just talking to Zelfa, but some of the things that you've had the opportunity and you provided others opportunity for is this whole international exposure. I remember coming up to the 7th floor when I first joined faculty and how the smell of the food from all the different international people having their little potlucks. This is a great day.
We had a cookbook at International.
I still use that. And then Chetty's, remember how Mrs. Chetty would bring her rice?
Remember that's very nice. She's amazing. Oh,
It wasn't right, I mean, if you weren't to get this Mrs. Chetty's food, yeah, it was gone. You know, you had to get it right away.
No, I can't.
That's what you got to. So
Oh, my goodness. Ellie. Oh, my goodness. How are you? We're talking about all the food that well, thank you.
We are all part of God's great big family. That's the truth. You know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day. Just you and me.
And another group of the biggest of our family then is going to be the nurses that we've worked with over the years. I'm sure you can think of lots of folks.
don't lie.
Little overwhelming, this one.
We worked together since 1990 or something like that.
Who has that? Who was that, Jim?
Phyllis.
Phil, since 1990? Oh my gosh, that's as old as my Kevin is 20 years old. Wow.
And she's only 29, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
to celebrate with you because we all love you very, very much. And so this song is from all of our hearts to you.
Jim wants to say something.
Before you all move, first of all, I'm absolutely flabbergasted, and I know I'm blushing. And I know I have to blush, although Leah makes me blush as well. First, I want to thank Allie for the wonderful songs. But second of all, I'm just absolutely touched. I didn't realize. Really, thank you all so much for coming. And it's obviously a terrific honor for me. The little award was nothing. This is the real honor of all this. To see how many of our students, former faculty, the nurses, all these people, everybody's doing fine, and looking well, and from group health to Rob, Kathleen, of course, Leah, and David, Michelle, and all that. So I just want to say thank you all, and to the DMs who hosted all.
Oh, yes. Woo!
Thank you for coming so far. It's truly honor to
acting room.
work
Can you
with
set it
all
at
of
a
you.
remote where you
It's
can get
been fun. It's been the greatest 25 years. People always ask me, would you go into medicine, dermatology again? So, it's been the best life I could have ever had. So it's all because of you. So thank you again.
Thank you.
We're gonna do a group picture. It's gonna be challenging.
Please don't let this feeling end. It's everything I am, everything I wanna be. I can see what's mine now, finding out what's true. Since I found you, looking through the eyes of love. Now I can take the time, I can see my life as it comes up shining now. Having you there near me, I can see so much since I found you, looking through the eyes of love. And now I do believe that even in a storm we'll find some light. Knowing you're beside me, I'm alright. Please don't let this feeling end. It might not come again, and I want to remember having you there near me. I understand so much since I found you, looking through the eyes of love. Having you there near me, I can feel so much since I found you, looking through the eyes of love. Ooh.
Come on.
Over here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's, come on.
All
Next to
right.
me. Wait 1 second, Debbie,
Okay.
1 second. We have to
Oh,
get the
yes,
hostess
yes,
with the hostess. The hostess with the mostest.
Okay. Got it, thank you. Okay.
Well, thank you guys for coming today. I have not met most of you before today, so it's an honor to have you all. And it's an honor to celebrate such a wonderful life and wonderful person. and well-deserved award. So Jim, definitely, I don't think of any person else that deserved this award more than you do.
Well, thank you, really.
And, you know,
Truly,
one,
the honor is mine. I'd say that you all did this, I just totally overwhelmed. I truly,
But he wouldn't have gotten the award without all of you, all of your help. There is no doubt about it.
And yours.
Everybody gave their paw to it.
and I would like to thank Kathleen for getting the cake,
oh my goodness.
and Debbie for organizing all the wonderful surprise to, you know, surprise Jim. Definitely, it's like I said,
This was a surprise party that worked.
well deserved.
I didn't get any clue.
It's an honor to have you all, and please enjoy yourself. I'm gonna ask everybody if you guys have a little story to tell about Jim. I worked with him for such a short period of time. All I can tell you, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle.
I think all the world
Anytime I need anything, I always bug him and say, hey Jim, you know, and he's been very supportive and reliable without a doubt. So thank you for all you've done.
Please, everybody.
Well, people have to have a chance to tell a little story
I wanted
now.
to say one little story.
Okay.
Okay, this isn't about my husband, but when I was sitting at the table over there, Brian Adams said,
Brian Nash.
Sorry, Brian Adams, I
Brian
apologize,
Adams.
but anyhow, he said, who used to organize the resident parties and stuff? And then he said, you know, when Ally started singing, I started to think back to the Christmas parties. And the little kids performing, your kids performing, Zelda's son performing.
Yeah, that's right.
And all of them performing at the Christmas time. And I thought, isn't that wonderful? And it was because of Debbie. So that's where we get our musical ability and our talents.
I'll tell a little story, and that was, first of all, I was chief resident right after Jim came, and what a wonderful person to be chief resident under. And one of the memories for me is that when I went to take my boards in Chicago, I got to the hotel in Chicago, and there was a plant waiting for me there from Jim. And I thought, oh my gosh, it just was so touching. And I told him this a few months ago. I told him, I said, you know, one memory I really remember is that you sent a plant to me when I was taking my boards, and he goes, oh, Mary Brocker probably did that. So thank you, Mary Brocker.
My story on that. Through the years I worked for Jim, every time everything was running nice and smoothly and going right, he gave everybody else the credit. And if there might have been one day in the last 15 years when things weren't going so smoothly. So when things weren't going smoothly, he always took the blame.
That really says something. I need to also pass on, Charlie Keaton was ill and was not able to come, but he told me to tell you that he could not have possibly had a better friend or with a better person. And Smith Gibson's words, who also was too ill to come. Let me see if I can get this right. He said that you were the finest dermatologist and person he ever knew, and he said the biggest compliment was, he said, he's just an okay guy. And I thought that was a perfect description. So they both said they were so sorry. And Jim Morris also, as you know, Jim had a lung transplant and is getting over nocardia pneumonia and was unable to come also. And he also said how much he would have loved to have been here to help and to congratulate you from him. So,
Thank you.
any other?
Yes, I have a story.
Okay.
I have plenty of stories, but I'll just share.
Okay then.
I'll just share this
Everybody
one.
wants that are okay.
I'll just
We
share
got
this
some back and all.
one.
We got some little kids here.
And I did mention the story once before when Jim stepped down as chair, but it's a story that really emulates several facets of Jim that I'd like you all to be aware of if you don't know. And it goes back when we were working together and I was a junior faculty at Cincinnati, and we were going to go to the International Pigment Cell Conference that was in Amsterdam at the time, right? And Jim and I had managed to save enough frequent flyer points, so we were going to go first class together. This was going to be really cool. You know, my boss and I were going to sit up in the front of the plane and go. And, you know, we got there, and, you know, I saw Mary dropping him off, and I got myself loaded up into the plane, and I'm sitting in this wonderful chair. So the chair is empty, and it's empty, and I says, well, Jim's always the last person to get on a plane, number one, would always late. So I figured, no problem, and I heard the engines go, we're starting to taxi out, and there's still no Jim there. And so I'm off going over the Atlantic and saying, oh, don't know what happened, before cell phones and the like. So I landed in Paris and had to wait around for another flight, and that took me a while, and then I took a flight to Amsterdam, and then had to take a train from Amsterdam to
Egmond on Sea.
Edmund on the Sea, right. And so I finally got off the second plane. I'm exhausted, going, I don't know what happened to Jim. This is really sad. You know, he probably will show up tomorrow or something. And I turned around the corner to get my ticket to get on the train, and there was Jim standing there as refreshed and comfortable as you could imagine. One step ahead of me yet again. You know?
So what did you do? A day earlier?
No, what happened is I got there and I grabbed the passport and I had Mary's. And so I called to see if somebody could bring me a passport, and I couldn't get anybody until it was too late. So the woman said, well, you can't go on that plane because you've got to be there an hour. So she said, but don't worry, I'll put you on a better flight. So first class, it was very nice.
So like I said, this epitomizes his capacity.
Well, to continue with this story, actually, he had Mary's passport
Yes,
by
I
mistake.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was not supposed to be on the same flight, and then I see Jim, we arrived and we were coming down from the plane, said, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be with me.
You couldn't fly on Mary's passport anymore.
I don't even know.
Unless you get by with, you don't have Mary.
I got a new passport. They finally got somebody sent it out, but it was too late to get on. But so we got it. But it was fun. It really gets on. It's like, oh my God.
Any other?
Yeah, I'd like to.
I don't have a funny story, but I just want to say that coming away from home for the first time when I came as a first-year resident, all the way from California, really never living further away from home, it was nice that the department was a family, and it was I felt very comfortable, very happy, and I didn't meet this guy for 6 months into being there, so it was nice to feel, just not miss the family. I don't know how to say it, except just it was a nice feeling. It was a family. I still remember as a third-year resident giving our little bye speeches. I mean, I think I definitely was brought to tears because it was just such a nice 3 years that we had, and
it was an environment that Jim had fostered and
right,
created.
and it's all because of the leadership, and it was an amazing environment. And then brought him into it, and I think he had the same sentiments.
Yeah, when I was a medical student, I thought I liked every rotation I did. But as I looked at the different rotations and the kind of people I was rotating with, both the residents and the chief residents and the surgeons and others, I realized that there was a sense of uneasiness as being a student in some of those rotations. But when I rotated through dermatology, Jim was, even though he was the chairman of the department, he treated me just like he treated any of the other students or residents in a very gentlemanly way. I mean, I was shocked at seeing a chairman that was a gentleman. I was pleased that he treated
It can be true, though.
It was.
Yeah,
and not only as a
absolutely.
gentleman, but almost as in a paternalistic way, but not necessarily, but as a father. And he was very kind. And to be a student and be treated that way by someone of such stature was, to me, it's like, well, maybe I don't want to do cardiology. Maybe I want to look at this more. And it was actually Jim and being around Jim that made me say, I really could be a dermatologist. And it was actually a combination of you and being exposed through Anita to your family that made me say, this is the career I want. And I'm very glad that I had that. It's been the best decision of my life.
We're delighted you did it too.
Yeah,
That's been good for all of us.
especially.
And you know, you're right about the paternalistic aspect too, because when we were here, we were just, my husband and I, we didn't have family here at the time, and so we would spend Thanksgiving or whatever, you know, around the big Nordlund. Household Zolf, I know you would be there. I mean, it really was a family. And then there would be times where, you know, I remember him giving me advice on whether we should buy our house or whatever. And I can remember at one point going in and telling him that I had decided that I was going to quit altogether because I just felt I had to be at home with my kids. And he said, you know, I think you can do that, but he said, I think you should really think about maybe just doing this one day a week because I think you're going to regret it. If you get out of it, you're not going to be able to get back in. And I've thought about that so many times. He was 100% right on that. But I mean, he really was. He was that, you know, very much beloved family and father figure for all of us. So.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
I want to say something, not only academically, because I know, and everybody knows how supportive Jim has been, particularly not only to the clinical residents and attendings, but mostly to us, because he came with the mission of also establishing a research part to the department. And I truly say, without him, I don't know where I would be. Without his support and his kindness and his patience, and, you know, another thing that touches me even more is what he and Mary and his family have done for us as a family. They were with me when my daughter was born. My mother wasn't there. They were there.
I didn't know that.
And, you know, I still remember what Jim said, you know, Ree was sucking her thumb and looking, you know, it's like, yeah, hello, here I am. Those were his exact words.
Aww.
So, you know, we all love him so fondly. We love you all, Mary and Jim, and you have always, you know, the memories and the fun times we had together are the most and the best times of our lives.
To Ray and Zolf's credit, they're both tenured professors, not easy to achieve in any university, but they both had just a continuous, ongoing, very successful careers, granted, funded, taught many students. They both have, and fellows. So they've been successful on their own, and they've because they were good people. It was easy to recruit them.
Because they were mentored well.
There's definitely
As a third
yeah.
generation or fourth generation, I can just say that it's because of how you taught them to teach that generations are following in their footsteps and as well with yours. Because there's quite a few of us that wouldn't have gotten to where we are without having the lineage of fine mentorship.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any last comments?
I just want to add one more thing. You all said well. I owe my profession to you too, because Jim is the one converted me from internist to dermatologist.
Yes, none of those great things I did.
Secondly, I also wanted to thank you, Mary, because you're the one I know hosts all the parties and.
We had so many wonderful
our children, even
swim
my
parties
children.
and journal
They still have
clubs
a
at your
great
house.
memory about swimming in your
Yeah.
pools and
Yeah.
Christmas parties and all that.
Yeah.
So you really did a great job too. I mean, in addition to what
Absolutely.
Jim that helped with us.
Anybody else?
In 1975, I started the PA program at Yale. And I was, you know, poor at the time, so I had a job working as the audiovisual. This is back when people had slides, you know. And I was the audiovisual guy, so I always showed up early. And the teachers would come and they'd bring slides. And Jim Nordlund was the dermatology teacher at Yale at the time. That's the first time. You were the first dermatologist I think I ever met, except for Sid Klaus, because he was my advisor, I think. And first time I ever knew there was such a thing as dermatology. And you know, later on when I started going to medical school, that was the first thing I thought of. Was I think that would be a wonderful thing to do. And somehow I think he pulled strings, because I shouldn't have gotten into the program, but I did, and I still thank him for that. And again, I owe my career to you, and your family is wonderful too. And it's been a wonderful experience knowing you all.
You did it on your own. You got in where you deserved, and look what's happened. So you and unfortunately Joe were together actually.
Yeah. I would wager that some of the slides you had at the time were probably influential too. You had
I think he still has something to say.
I still have.
Let us know.
That's right.
gonna donate them to somebody.
Any other Tom?
As Jim's business administrator in the Department of Dermatology, and for the department, I had the pleasure, of course, of working for Jim. He's just a great guy to work for, as you all know, but just let me say that. We never seem to quite have, enough money in the department. So,
But we had a lot of happiness.
So occasionally I would say something like this to Jim, oh, you probably take too long, you spend too much time with the patients. You need to spend a little less time with the patients, then we make more money, So, just a testimony to how well you treated the patients and so forth. And you had Marge Schott, she was a patient. The president of the university was his patient and so forth. But, he's a nice guy to work for and a fabulous doctor. And and now that the statute of limitations has expired, we can actually tell everybody where the money all went.
Marge Schott actually is interesting because Marge would never make an appointment. She would just walk in. And she'd say, I'm here, and you want to come back. She'd sit down, the first thing she'd do is she'd find Phyllis. Where's Phyllis?
There's Phyllis.
And say to Phyllis, now, here's 6 tickets to this tonight's baseball game. Here's this, here's a hat, here's a brand new ball everybody signed. And then I'd walk in and she'd say, so where you been? So she liked Phyllis and she put up with me. Really.
She took a lot of grief for a lot of things. But she was, when my second child was born, I was a really big Reds fan at the time, and I took a picture of him and my oldest kid in Reds outfits with Reds all around them. And that was the birth announcement, and I had sent her a copy of it just for the heck of it. And I got back a personally written letter from her saying how, great she thought what that was, and there was some certificate in there for my kid. And she was really an amazing lady.
She did a lot of charitable stuff.
She did.
She Children's Hospital, I think Shriners.
The media sort of had it out for her sometimes, but there was a very good side to her.
But she did like it.
Yeah.
She never talked to you, she would always
She would
look at
talk
me
to
and
you.
say,
Oh, she would?
Always talking to me. He was just a vibe.
Oh dear. Any other comments, anybody?
I think I have
Vijay?
one word to say.
Okay.
Well, as you put it in your thing, from other side of the world, it so happened that I was coming to America and I didn't know where to go. So I called my good friend, that's John Strauss, and he said he's going to introduce me to you. I had no idea where I was going, where I would work, but knowing John Strauss, I said, sure, I'll go and meet him. And I came and joined your department. And the rest of the story, you all know. It was so good, so nice, so enjoyable to work with a person like him. And the rest of the staff. And I decided to stay, not only continuing the department, but became a citizen of this country.
Yeah.
Visium was really the head, did all the students, but every clinic. And whenever there was a problem, we didn't know, so where's Visium? And often Smith Gibson would come along, two would come in and say, oh, well, it's an obvious case of. I saw 4 of those in Libya and 2 of those in I think he's probably taught more students here and residents than probably any other member of the faculty.
That may be the case, yeah. I've done a lot of teaching. And speaking of working with very nice people, that is another wonderful teacher right there. So.
The whole group here, they are so delightful to see all of you together today.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did, there would be Smith and Gibson and Visium and myself, and we did the clinic together. We solved every world problem.
I don't know how you say that. A lot of things that we discussed about the international problems, from color of the skin of the people to, that is a dermatology problem, to religion, to politics, anything under the sun, we used to talk.
Oh, by the time the clinic was over, we had a solution.
Anybody else?
So we got to tell about Elaine. I told her this before.
Alright, Elaine, up here, where are you?
So
Oh, there she is.
Elaine was given the nurse award of the year. No, there's a dermatology nurse association. And each year they select one nurse from around the country to get the Nurse of the Year award. So we were at, were we in Florida?
San Francisco, I think.
San Francisco?
Was it San Francisco? Yeah.
So we went over for this thing where she was going to get the award. And there was Elaine and Miss America.
Who were the two featured speakers? Yes.
Tell the difference. Elaine gets up and says, well, Elaine Bowman and Miss America. Now, if you're not sure which I am, I'm Elaine Bowman. She broke the place up.
And the speeches between the two, honestly, Elaine's was 1,000 times better. And the thing that Elaine was, one of the things she said was that she'd been practicing her wave. Very proud of her. All right, well, I guess we'll cut the cake. So,
Please.
all right, so Jim, thank you for everything you've given all of us.
I just can't tell you really how much. It's been just amazing. So, I'm
Mohammed,
not
do you want to
speechless,
do
but
that?
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm gonna ask him to do it.
Oh, let's do. We'll let you cut.
It's his cake.
Yeah, that's right. You got to do the work.
First slice.
Well, because he knows I'm not much of a surgeon, so send all my surgery to Mohammed. So I'll do one row and then I'm going to let you ladies do it.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strain. A beautiful face without a name for so long, a beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I would like to be? And I can fly higher than an eagle, for you are the wind beneath my wings. Might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here